Hey everybody, I'm Eric Enge, and today I'm pleased to tell you that I've got joining me Martin Splitt from Google. He is a Webmaster Trends Analyst based out of Zurich. Thanks for joining us today, Martin.
Thank you very much for having me, Eric, and hello everybody.
All right, so today we're going to talk about the announcements at I/O that related to images and visual aspects of search. So to start, maybe you could talk a little bit about the announcement made about high resolution images.
All right. So as you know, we now have the new Discover feed. If you're using an Android device, you have it on your home screen. If you're using the google.com on mobile, then you will see that there. The search app on Android has it as well, and it can drive a lot of traffic, but also it is very keen on having good visuals. The question then is, what kind of visuals should we be using? And we would like to use high quality images to make them a little bigger than usual. And that would be nice, but we want our webmasters to have full control over what they're giving us to show in Discover. And also, we want to use these images in other surfaces. We have smart home devices with displays now. We have the Assistant. We have many different surfaces that we could show visual content in. And promote your site, basically. So we announced the upcoming possibility to opt into sharing high resolution visual content with us, basically images in high resolution that we would use on different surfaces and different devices, and also in Discover feed and other features. But we have no timeline yet when that opt-in program will start.
So how do you actually opt in or enable the feature?
So the way to opt in is probably going to be based around structured data. So you would use the regular optimized fast images for your website so that your web content loads fast and is performant on user devices. But you would include a little bit of structured JSON LD that points us to a high resolution image that we can use. And probably there will be settings around that in Search Console as well.
Got it. And so you mentioned that this will be part of the Discover feature, for example. Do you see the high resolution images ever coming into play via regular Google search or image search?
Probably, but at this point, I only know that we will do this in Assistant, especially the smart displays that we have with Assistant and in Discover, but there's probably more to come.
Got it. And how about 3D images? That's the other thing that you talked about at I/O.
Yes, absolutely. So we are right now working with a few partners on bringing AR capabilities and 3D models to Google Search. There's like plenty of interesting use cases. If you have some educational use cases, if you have things like furniture or real estate, those might be really interesting to like try out and have a more visual approach to them, as these are by definition very visual things. Lots of people are visual learners. You definitely want spatial understanding of, let's say, a piece of furniture. So there's use cases where it makes sense. And we are piloting that. And there's like multiple teams working towards a common goal in this case. We have teams that work with Web VR and AR, or actually it's called Web XR, which is like AR and VR in one specification, to bring this possibilities to the web. There's also teams working on making 3D models smaller. That would be the Draco mesh compression. And we also work with other teams to make developers more comfortable and make it easier for developers to work with 3D content as well as we are participating in the standardization effort that is GLTF, which is basically like a JPEG format, but for 3D models.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think the functionality and the things that you're putting into visual search these days are really amazing. So how important is visual search going to be going forward?
I think visual search is one of the most underrated search experiences that we have right now. I mean, image search can be a fantastic funnel for additional traffic, especially if what you are having is a very visual thing. If your product is very visual, if your niche is about visual things, let's say food or tourism or specific kinds of marketing, then I can definitely see that visual will become more important for users as we also offer them more engaging and more visual ways to discover and interact with content.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us today, Martin.
Has been a pleasure. Thank you very much for having me, Eric.